Previous class we have studied the male reproductive part in angiosperms. Today we are going to study female reproductive part in angiosperm. The female reproductive part in angiosperm is called a gynoecium. It consists of pistil or otherwise called a carpel. Each pistil or carpel has three portions. They are the topmost portion is called stigma, where the pollen grains are landed, and a long slender portion beneath the stigma is called style, and basal swollen portion called ovary. Stigma, style, ovary. These are the three different parts which is present in pistil or carpel. Pistil or carpel together known as gynoecium. So, gynoecium consists of pistil or carpel. Each pistil or carpel has three portions: stigma, style, ovary. Inside the ovary we can see the ovules. The number of carpels or pistils may vary from species to species. That is, some cases there we can see single pistil. That plants are said to be monocarpellary. In some other plants, there we can see many pistil or carpel. They are said to be multicarpellary. Multi stands for many. Carpellary stands for representing carpels, many carpels. So that condition is called a multicarpellary. If it consists of a single, mono means single, that plants are said to be monocarpellary. In multicarpellary condition, if more than one carpels are present, that carpels may be free or fused. If the carpels are fused, that condition is called syncarpus. Syn stands for union, syncarpus. Carpels are united. In apocarpels, the carpels are free. It's not united. They are free. That condition is called apocarpus. Example for apocarpus plant is Michelia. Its Malayalam name is Chembagam. That's familiar with this name, Michelia. Apocarpus, example Michelia, and syncarpus, example papaver. Here you can see the pictures of syncarpus and apocarpus ovary. Sometimes the diagram may be given for the identification. For the exam, it may be given for identification. Here you can see the carpels, many carpels are there. And here the carpels are united. It's not free. These are united. So this is an example for syncarpus pistil or carpel of papaver. And this is an apocarpus pistil of Michelia. Once more listen the structure of carpel or pistil. Three portions: stigma, style, ovary. Stigma, what is the role of stigma? Stigma is the landing platform for the pollen grains. Pollen grains are landed on stigma. Then elongated slender tube-like structure beneath the stigma is called style, and basal swollen portion is called ovary. Inside the ovary, there we can see chambers. These chambers are called locules. So the chambers within an ovary is called locules. Here you can see three chambers. That means three locules are present. Inside this locule we can see the seeds. Seeds means ovule. Ovule turns to become seeds. And the ovules are attached to the locule with the help of some red color structure you can see here, and that structures are cellular structures are called placenta. You have already studied placentation. What do you mean by placenta and placentation in the previous year? So placenta is a cushion-like structure which can be seen in the locule where the ovules are attached. See, these are ovules. Seeds means ovules turns to become seeds. So the ovules are attached to the locule or inside the ovary. These are attached to the locules with the help of some cushion-like structures called placenta. So what do you mean by locules? Locules are the chambers. Locules are the chambers present in an ovary. Each locule consists of placenta from which who is arising? Ovules are arising, or ovules are attached to the ovary with the help of placenta. And here the number of locule, here you can see 3 locules can be seen, and the number of locules sometimes it may be equal to that of the number of carpels. Sometimes the number may be less than the number of carpels. Here you can see various types of locules are present, and various types of placentation is also seen here. The first one, axial placentation. We have already studied axial placentation, where the ovules are arising from the axis. This is the axis portion. Ovules are arising from the axis, and here it is divided into 3 compartments. That means 3 locules can be seen here. 3 locules are present. So locules what? Chambers inside the ovary. Or locules are the chambers within the ovary where the ovules are attached with the help of placenta. The second one, free central placentation, there also we can see one locule is present. And but here what is the difference between axial and free central? In axial placentation, these ovules are arising from the axis, but it is divided into so many compartments, but it is free. Second one is free central. It is not divided into compartments. And the third and fourth, both of them are showing parietal placentation. Here the ovules are attached to where the inner wall of the ovary. And here also we can see a red color structure, and these red color structures are representing placenta. Here we can see the red color structure. Here also we can see red color structure, and these are representing what? Placenta. So what do you mean by placenta? Placenta is a mass of cells or cellular cushion of cells where the ovules are attached. Next we have to study the structure of ovules, or otherwise called megasporangium. Ovules are located on where? Ovules are present inside the ovary. Inside the ovary there are certain compartment called locules, and this locule have a placenta. On the placenta we can see the ovules. Ovules are otherwise called megasporangium. Here we can see 2 seeds are labeled in each chamber. So here we can see 2 ovules are present, because ovules converted into what? Seeds. Here you can see the structure of ovules. Here it is an enlarged portion of the ovule. This is a diagram which is given in your textbook. Next we have to study how we have to draw this picture, because this is very important question which is asked for the public examination. So next we can study how we have to draw the structure of ovule or megasporangium. Ovule is otherwise called megasporangium. Each ovule or megasporangium have a central mass of cells. The central mass of cell is called nucellus. A central mass of cell is called nucellus. One of the cell inside the nucellus converted to the formation of embryo sac, or otherwise called female gametophyte. This is embryo sac. We can study the formation of embryo sac later. So this is nucellus. Inside the nucellus we can see embryo sac. This nucellus is encircled with the 2 outer covering. They are called integument. This is the inner integument. Here also we can see the inner integument. So integument are what? The coverings around the nucellus. This is inner integument. Next we can see the outer integument. So this outer integument will encircle this ovule. Here also we can see the outer integument. Clear? So this is inner integument and this portion is outer integument. Listen, here this integument will encircle this nucellus except at the one portion. There we can see a small opening, and that opening is called a micropyle. So integument will encircle the nucellus except at a portion. There we can see a small opening called what? Micropyle. What may be the role of micropyle? This is a small opening, and that is meant for the entry of pollen grains. Here inside the embryo sac we can see the egg. So in order to fuse with the egg, the male gamete have to enter inside the embryo sac. So the pathway of male gamete occurs through this opening. What do you call this opening? Micropyle. So how this micropyle is formed? The integument will encircle the nucellus except at one region. There we can see a small opening called a micropyle. So what is this portion? Nucellus. I have already mentioned what is nucellus. It's a mass of cells inside the ovule. Ovule consists of a mass of cells, and that mass of cell is called a nucellus. One of the cell inside the nucellus converted to what? Embryo sac. This nucellus will encircled with the two coverings. Two integuments are there, and these integument, what are the integument? This is inner integument and this one is outer integument. Inner integument and outer integument. Listen, ovule converted to what? Seed, isn't it? Ovule converted to seed. At that time, this integument, the outer covering of integument converted to what? Seed coat, isn't it? So ovule converted to seed, the outer covering of ovule, what do you call the outer covering? Outer integument and inner integument, that converted to seed coat. So micropyle, how this micropyle is formed? This integument will encircle the nucellus except at the tip portion called a micropyle. And this side is called a micropylar side. This side is called what? Where the micropyle is present, that end is called a micropylar end. And this opposite side is called a chalazal region or chalazal end. This is the chalazal end, and chalazal end is the base of the ovule. Base portion of the ovule is chalazal end. So micropylar, where micropyle is present, that end is called a micropylar end. Opposite side is called a chalazal end. And the stalk of this ovule is called a funicle. Stalk of this ovule is called a funicle. So what is the purpose of funicle? Funicle, I have already mentioned here. This ovule is connected to placenta, or ovules are emerging from the placenta. So ovules are connected to the placenta by a small stalk called a funicle. The small stalk is called a funicle. So the stalk portion of the ovule is called a funicle, and the rest part of this ovule connected to the stalk by a portion called a hilum. So what do you mean by hilum? Hilum is the region. This is a junction between ovule and funicle. Funicle is the stalk of this ovule where it is attached with which one? Placenta. And the junction between funicle and rest part of the ovule is called hilum. So this is a structure of megasporangium or ovule.